Hey.
Good evening and welcome everyone for joining us this evening at our board candidate forum at New London High School. We're very pleased and honored to have you here this evening for an opportunity to get to know our potential school board candidates that will be on the election ballot on February 15th for our primary election. So tonight's purpose is to present our potential candidates with questions that have been supported by the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, one of our governing bodies of public education, which our Board of Education is part of. Our moderator tonight is Mr. Hans Thompson, local attorney at Sweeney and Associates, senior associate. Hans is also an alumni of New London High School, parent of children within the district, and brings us an overall vested interest into New London School District. We're very pleased to have Hans join us tonight to take our candidates through the questions. All of our candidates this evening have had the questions prior tonight to approximately 21 questions, and the script and order of the questions, Attorney Thompson will simply select them on his prerogative. Okay, so there's no known order, but we will have an opportunity for all of our candidates to talk to the question individually, rotate through on the ability to start at a new question, and then conclude at the end of the program. When we do conclude tonight's program, as you entered in, there are some snacks and refreshments at the Commons this evening. If you'd like to join our candidates and socialize with them, or if you have a particular question that you'd like to find or ask individually, you're welcome to do so at that time. So again, thank you, welcome, and I'll turn it over to Hans.
Thank you, Scott. Really took the wind out of my sails here in my introduction. I am the proud parent of a couple of little New London Bulldogs, and I have a practice here, a law practice here in New London, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to be with you tonight and moderate our forum. I'd like to thank you, the candidates who are here this evening, for giving us your time and for offering yourself up for this important public service. Or to paraphrase Theodore Roosevelt, to spend yourself in a worthy cause. I'd also like to thank the members of the public present here tonight joining us. For those district residents who are unable to do so, but wish to watch later, this forum is being recorded and will be made available online for public viewing later. I'm going to ask those residents in attendance tonight to hold their applause until the end. Upon conclusion of the forum, candidates will also be available to socialize or answer questions from the guests in the high school commons. Our goal tonight is to get through approximately 8 to 12 questions. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to respond to each question. A list of 21 potential questions has been provided to the candidates in advance. We will not get to all the questions. I will ask the questions in no particular order, and the order of candidate response will rotate. I will be keeping time. I'll try my best to give you like a 15-second warning before your time expires. Our format this evening is a forum. It's not a debate. There is no time allotted for rebuttals. If you do wish to follow up on something that another candidate says, you can do so when you answer the next question, but obviously doing so will use up some of your time on that new question. First, each candidate will have 2 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you are interested in being a member of our district's school board. One candidate, Mandy Wills, is unable to attend the forum tonight, but she did send along a prepared statement that I have been asked to read. So we will start with her. Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, due to a pre-planned vacation, I am not able to make it tonight. However, I did want to share some of my thoughts with you. I was asked once why I wanted to run for school board and what experience I have. Did COVID play a hand in it? Yes, of course, but not directly. The only thing COVID did was have me attend school board meetings. It is not why I wanted to be on the board. It's what I saw as a bystander that made me want to run. I believe everyone, regardless of your personal opinion on a subject, has a right to have their voice heard. I did not see this happening between the community and board members, and I certainly did not see it between board members themselves. Board members are leaders and should conduct themselves as leaders. It is their duty to review policies and implement or make change where needed. I understand that the last 2 years have been stressful on all, but there is no place for bullying and condescending behaviors by our leaders. I am a manager of 100 team members and work hand in hand with 20 plus other managers. We have one common saying: we work together collaboratively. Our opinions may not always match, but we respect one another and we work together to make the best decisions for our business. I want to see the community and the board working together with the same principles, and I will work at bridging that trust gap. Having open public forum at the beginning and end of every school board meeting would help that. It allows the community to be more involved, more frequently, instead of just once a month for 3 minutes. We should share the school board meeting link on the School District of New London Facebook page, where there is over 4,000 followers, and include the community forum so that everyone can see what concerns or conversation points are being brought up. Right now, the tapings are just on YouTube, and the community forum section is cut out. Why? Make it transparent so there is no muddy waters. Find out what the teachers would like to see different. Discuss responses and implement change. We as community members have no clue what the teachers want because it is never brought up. They are never brought up. We have the best teachers. I cannot say it enough. They are what makes our district great. They are our greatest strength. Let's recognize them with an award system that the parents participate in at the end of the year. Everyone wants to be acknowledged for a job well done. A teacher is no different. I will leave you with one final thought to question number 5. How can we make learning a priority and continue to improve student achievement for all students? If learning is not the priority right now, then what is? Learning should always be the priority, and if it's not, then we are failing as a district. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with Ashley. Would you please tell us about yourself and why are you interested in being a member of our district's school board?
My name's Ashley Clark. I am a mother of 4 children, and I'm an in-home child care provider. I'm running for school board because I want to be a voice for our children and our local families, and I want to keep traditional values and help our district grow together to be the best that it can be. My goal for our community in this district is to encourage each other and to keep it our mission to simply be on the same team. I feel like there's communication that's missing a lot too, between the board and the community. I just want to also, like what Mandy said, put a bridge there so we can all work together as a team. I feel like it's absolutely necessary.
All right, thank you. Okay, Pete, please tell us about yourself and why you are interested in being a member of our district's school board.
First, thanks everybody for coming. I'm Pete Boskus. I'm married. I have 4 kids, 2 grandkids. My 2 older boys have graduated. I have 2 girls that are in middle school at this time, a grandson in middle school, and a grandson in elementary school. I was born in New London, graduated from New London Senior High, and I used the tech ed program here at the school to get a job as an industrial mechanic after graduation. After a few years, I put myself through Fox Valley Tech and received an associate's degree in criminal justice. I used that degree to live out all my boyhood dreams. I got to drive fast cars, shoot big guns, work undercover, and negotiate labor contracts. Kind of a weird dream for a kid, but after 23 years, I retired from law enforcement and was elected to the Waupaca County Board of Supervisors, and I'm currently in my second term. Prior to being elected to the Board of Education, I worked at in this district as a paraeducator with my license to work with special needs kids. All of those experiences and everything I've gone through in my life has taught me that it's important to be a lifetime learner, to continue your education no matter what you're doing. It also taught me how to be a team player, and one of the most important things is to how to listen to other people. The reason I want to continue on the Board of Education is that my life, almost my entire adult life, I've been in public service, and it's what brings joy to my life.
Thank you. All right, Holly, please tell us about yourself and why you would like to be a member of the district school board.
My name is Holly Schweitzer. I was born and raised in New London. My husband and I have 5 children, 3 of which are in one of our elementary schools. And I've worked in New London for a local financial institution for the past 12 years. I'm a current Lions member. I'm a past Hortonville first responder. I enjoy spending time with my family. The reason I'm running for school board is because with COVID came a lot of new challenges for all of us. It was a learning experience, and one thing that I learned is just how much I crave transparency, how much I need transparency. And I think that there was a disconnect there when I'm a parent that is emailing our board and not getting a response back, not even an acknowledgement from certain members. And as a constituent, that is very frustrating to me because my vote could help get that person in. I am an advocate for health freedom. I think that a parent should have the say what happens with their child, whether it's wearing a mask or getting a medication, or if it involves my kid, I should have a say, and so should other parents. That is my driving force. But I also want what's best for our kids. I want to see them succeed. They're so unique in their own ways. And I want to be able to be a part of that process. I want to be able to give them the tools that they need to achieve and to be a functioning member of society, to make a contribution. So that's why I'm running.
Thank you. Tina, please tell us about yourself and why you would like to be a member of the district school board.
Good evening, everybody. Please forgive me that I couldn't be there, but I too had some vacation plans that has me out of town tonight. So glad I could at least join you virtually. And I guess I just wanted to say that I am an alumnus of New London High School, and my husband Earl and I have raised our 4 children here in New London as well, and they are graduates of our great school system. I have worked in the education field for over 30 years, teaching preschool right here in New London, and substitute teaching for a number of years. And then I started working for UW Oshkosh Head Start, where I supervised a program of 85 children and about 15 to 20 staff. I ended my time there, my last 4 years at Head Start, as their behavior specialist. And currently I work for a nonprofit where I support and train early childhood professionals and programs in school districts across the state. And my experiences in leadership and education relates well to decisions and tasks that are asked of me on the school board. I wish to continue my service as a school board member, as I value giving back to my community. That has been, impressed upon me by a number of people, that what you take from your community, you should give back. So that is what I'm trying to do, because when I was a young mom of 4 kids, I didn't have time to be on the school board and give both my being with my kids and the school board enough time. So someone else was doing it during that time. So now I can be that person and be able to give back to my community and serve on the school board. I also feel that I can build on my experiences.
Your time has expired. I apologize.
Okay.
Before we start, does anybody have any questions about the format or the rules? Okay, let's crack in. Question number 1, and we're going to just do the same order again. We'll start again with Ashley. What is your personal vision for public education, and how would you develop a shared vision for our district?
By being supportive and keeping focus of our main goals and purposes for the long term, and always looking for room for improvement in every aspect.
Thank you. Pete, I'll pose the same question to you. What is your personal vision for public education, and how would you develop a shared vision for our district?
My vision would be to provide students with an environment, tools they need to become independent thinkers, so that they can use that information along with the ethics and morals that they learn at home to be successful in life. And to build on that vision, we have to create teams within the administration and the staff and the parents, so that we're all on the same page driving towards that same vision.
Thank you. Holly, what is your personal vision for public education, and how would you develop a shared vision for our district?
I think to provide an education of the highest level of academic achievement is important. We need to enable them to be their absolute best and to absorb absolutely everything that they can. I think that this would come by listening to others, taking on, parent and community involvement in what they think, and working as a team.
Thank you. And Tina, what is your personal vision for public education, and how would you develop a shared vision for our district?
I believe that all children and families' educational needs should be met by public education. It should be inclusive. It should be a healthy, safe environment that employs highly qualified staff. And a public education should listen to staff in the administration for their needs and their ideas, and also have community support.
Thank you. All right. Question number 2, and we'll pose this to Pete first. How can we make learning a priority and continue to improve student achievement for all students?
That starts really early. You have to meet the basic needs. You have to set up programs that provide those basic needs to the kids. A kid can't learn if he's hungry or if he's fearful of his environment. So we have to develop those programs to meet those needs so that they can begin learning. And if you can start it early enough, that expands towards the end of their career to make them higher achievers.
Thank you. Holly, how can we make learning a priority and continue to improve student achievement for all students?
I think by keeping our kids in school, first of all. I think when COVID hit, when our kids got pulled out of school, it affected our children. It really did. I have, my youngest was in 4K, and she's a little sponge for information right now. And she was cheated. I mean, she didn't get the education, the learning that she should have got. Let's keep them in school. We have to. That's how they learn. Virtual doesn't work for everyone. Not to mention our disabled kids. How did pulling them, and I understand, that there was a shutdown and it was mandated, but our board also voted to keep our kids out of school. When the data wasn't there, our kids weren't getting sick. I think that there should have been some other things considered in the situation, but our kids need to be in school to learn.
Thank you. Tina, how can we make learning a priority and continue to improve student achievement for all students?
I think that we need to stick to our vision and our strategic plan, our vision of success for all students. We need to stick to that vision and our strategic plan, set goals from that strategic plan, and analyze our data to see if our goals are being met. We also need to keep it a priority to keep our quality staff that we already have employed.
Thank you. And Ashley, how can we make learning a priority and continue to improve student achievement for all students?
I have to agree with Holly. By keeping our students in school and having direct learning with a teacher instead of putting them on screens or expecting the parents to know what they're doing, give them paper and a pencil and help them, giving them the help they need from their teachers and not expecting the parents to know exactly what to do without communicating, and let parents know what the student may be struggling with so we can work together and figure out solutions for them to succeed. Just like having more teacher-parent involvement would be extremely helpful. Maybe even possibly like daily, or I know we do like Skyward and Class Dojo, but I think that if we make it more of a priority for our teachers and parents to communicate more effectively on a daily basis, that would help a lot.
Thank you. Okay, so for question number 3, we're going to start with Holly. What past training and or experience that you have would make you an ideal candidate to select?
Being a mom of 5, 3 of my kids are in the district, and I actually have one in another district. I've been able to view both boards, see how they interact with each other and how they respond to their community. I've worked in my community for the last 12 years, partnering with one other person in our office. And we work with everything from education savings to estate processing. So I feel like I know I need to get in touch with people. I need to be responsible. I need to be reliable. I need to be there for them. I think that that's important. I just think that if I can run a successful branch, I can be a successful part of a board.
Thank you. Tina, what past training and or experience that you have would make you an ideal candidate to select?
So I have a degree in teaching, and I've been in the education field for over 30 years. In my time supervising the Head Start program, I got a lot of knowledge around knowing health and safety practices and protocols, and that included learning intruder drills. I knew about bus policy and practices and I had to do bus routing. So I gained a lot of experience there. Currently, I'm connected to state leadership and governance, and I think my past 3 years on the board gives me some experience, and just like having job experience, those 3 years gave me some great experience that I can build on.
Thank you. Ashley, what past training and or experience that you have would make you an ideal candidate to select?
So I didn't mention this earlier, but I have been a stay-at-home mom for the past 4 years, doing in-home childcare. But prior to that, I have been a CNA and a medical assistant, and I've also worked at the courthouse as a child support representative. I have been dealing with people a lot throughout my years, and I feel like throughout all of that, I've been like self-aware, and I've noticed that I'm a good listener and a problem solver. Dealing with kids, we solve problems every day. I put others before myself and always strive to communicate effectively and put others' thoughts and feelings before my own. I'm open to options and I'm transparent. Everyone has different views, and that's always normal. And I just always strive to make the best out of what we have and coming up with solutions.
Thank you. And Pete, what past training and or experience that you have would make you an ideal candidate to select?
I'll try and keep it brief. I was an instructor for 17 years for Wapak County Sheriff's Department. I was union president for several years. Currently, I'm on the county board, and I'm the chairman of the Park and Rec Committee. I'm also the chairman of the redistricting committee, and I sit on several other committees for the county, as well as the Rawhide Leadership Committee and a commission called the Greenways Commission that provides grant money for groups and municipalities that want to support silent sports. So all of those different committees and board meetings give me the experience to understand and run effective and efficient meetings.
Thank you. Question number 4 is going to go first to Tina. What one major goal would you wish to accomplish as a board member for the school district of New London?
My main focus is to keep our children and families safe and healthy. And I would also like to work on building a stronger board where we can be solution-oriented. In a time where there are staff shortages, I want to find ways to keep and recruit qualified teaching staff.
Thank you. Ashley, what one major goal would you wish to accomplish as a board member for the school district of New London?
I wrote everything down. My goal as a potential board member for our community is to encourage each other and to keep it our mission to simply be on the same team, help each other grow and develop as a whole, be leaders and not followers, be available and responsive.
Thank you. And Pete, what one major goal would you wish to accomplish as a board member for the School District of New London?
The one goal that I would really like to be able to push for is the tennis court project. I believe that our district is failing in providing adequate facilities for a really popular sport. And I think by building the tennis courts, it would allow us to have tournaments and stuff that promote not only our school but our community.
Thank you. Holly, what one major goal would you wish to accomplish as a board member for the School District of New London?
Right now, I would like to see public comment taped and posted with our regular meetings. There's 2 meetings that people can attend that I know of, and only one of them is recorded. The one that's recorded does allow time for the public and parents to speak, but it's not recorded or published to the public. So, I mean, we live in a town where there's Amcor and where there's Tyson, where parents can't always make those meetings. And, you know, that's our board. Okay, so that's a hard time of the night. You got dinner, you got homework, you got bath time, and you got bedtime. That's a hard time of the night in our house where we have a lot of kids. And the last thing that is, I think, on a lot of parents' mind is, I got to make that board meeting. But it is nice to be able to go back and look at that board meeting on YouTube. But it's also nice to know how other parents are feeling. And how do we know if we're not sharing? We're giving our public an opportunity to speak, but we're not making it public. It's mind-blowing to me. And I think it should be available. I really do. I would like to see more transparency in our district. I really would. That's one of my biggest goals.
Thank you. So question 5 goes first to Ashley. New information is continually forthcoming about curriculum issues, learning styles, and teaching strategies. How important is it for you to keep current in these areas?
It is very important to me because things are changing all of the time. We need to have up-to-date resources and things to keep our students interested in learning and succeeding. Asking students and keeping them engaged to help the teachers be better for their students too, and always be open to improvement.
Thank you. Pete, new information is continually forthcoming about curriculum issues, learning styles, and teaching strategies. How important is it for you to keep current in these areas?
It's extremely important, not only to continue your education as a board member, to expand on your understanding of what's going on, but so that we can evaluate what's best for our district. Sometimes the old ways should fall behind because they're not working, but sometimes old strategies continue to work. But if you have nothing to compare it to, you're just going to keep plodding along with the same strategies all the time. So as a board member, you should stay up to date so that you can have intelligent conversations with the staff and administration on those.
Thank you. Holly, new information is continually forthcoming about curriculum issues, learning styles, and teaching strategies. How important is it for you to keep current in these areas?
It's extremely important. If we're not keeping current, we're not only failing our kids, we're failing as a district. Cut and dried. That's it.
All right, thank you. And Tina, new information is continually forthcoming about curriculum issues, learning styles, and teaching strategies. How important is it for you to keep current in these areas?
I think it's important for us to know about the strategies and about the curriculum and to keep abreast on it so that we can talk to the community about it. We can talk to people that may have questions about it. And we may, when teachers ask or administration asks for certain materials, we can understand better why we may need to spend some money on that kind of thing. But also, I do believe that we employ capable people to do this for us as well, and I trust that they will bring to the board any necessary information that they feel we should have that we might not know.
Thank you. Question 6 goes first to Pete. How would you help create links between the board, staff, students, and community?
Well, currently what I do is let them know that I'm available. I have a social media page that they can go to, and I try and post things that come up on the board meetings. That's one step, and to take the phone calls and listen to what the parents have to say and staff have to say. But the biggest thing is to let them know that you're available for that, especially one-on-one conversations with anybody related to the district. You don't have to have kids in the school. You don't have to work for the school. But if you're paying taxes, you may have questions, and so you have to be open to those people as well.
Thank you. Holly, how would you help create links between the board, staff, students, and community?
I think that social media seems to play a very major role in our lives. And I'm not sure I know the answer to this. I think that this is maybe something that we could do a survey for and ask, what topics are most important to parents or our community and how they like to receive that information. Not everyone is online as much as I like social media. I think it's important. But I think that's something that we need to find out, that missing link. How do we get that information? Is it maybe pairing up with the chamber or with the city of New London to help spread information? How do we there's ideas there, but it's finding that perfect fit. I think there needs to be some questions asked to our public.
Thank you. Tina, how would you help create links between the board, staff, students, and community?
I think we do have to figure out, as Holly said, what ways is most appropriate that we can reach all people. And yes, social media is awesome because lots of people are on there, but not everyone. So we want to continue to update our webpage, to continue to send out actual reading material, maybe having that reading material at our community centers where older people might gather so that they can get the information out. I would also continue with our or our community advisory council, and maybe also get a student to attend our board meetings so that we can hear the voice of actual students from our school district.
Thank you. Ashley, how would you help create links between the board, staff, students, and community?
I would be available and responsive, and I also believe that, like they said, not everyone's on social media, not everyone has smartphones. What about like old-fashioned pen and paper, or sending letters, just getting the word out there, having students and more parents come to the meetings, being more involved in the community, being more involved in our students' lives and their schooling. I feel like we do have links too. We just need to make sure we all use them.
Thank you. Holly, the seventh question goes to you. What are your priorities when you make decisions about school district operations?
Think how it would affect our kids, how the parents or community feel, what are the long-term results of that decision, and our budget. How is it going to affect our budget?
Thank you. Tina, what are your priorities when you make decisions about school district operations?
I would like to base my decision on facts and try to keep my emotions out of it. Of course, we would want to know the impact on our budget, and does it fit in our strategic plan or our goals, and what effect will it have on student achievement and outcomes?
Thank you. Ashley, what are your priorities when you make decisions about school district operations?
Thinking about what's best for our children, making them my number one priority. They're at the forefront of all of our decisions, well, my decisions, and being accountable and taking responsibility.
Thank you. And Pete, what are your priorities when you make decisions about school district operations?
First, you have to decide if it moves students forward towards the vision that we set. Second, it has to have the backing of the parents. Third, you have to make sure that it's legal. Do we have the authority to put that into motion, whatever program or decision we implement? And then finally, is it fiscally responsible for us to move in that direction?
Thank you. The next question goes to Tina first. What is your concept of a board leadership team and how it should function?
I think that we need to be solution oriented, respect each other's ideas. We need to communicate with our community. We need to communicate facts to our community. We need to really listen and support, and we need to support decisions publicly.
Thank you. Ashley, what is your concept of a board leadership team and how it should function?
I think making sure everyone is heard and respected, set achievable goals, maintain open communication, having the same or similar goals, being accountable, being positive and trustworthy, and being a team player. We're all in it together.
Thank you. Pete, what is your concept of a board leadership team and how it should function?
The leadership team should function like any other team, that you can have during the meetings open and vigorous debate on topics, but once the decision is made, you move forward as a team. Each individual board member doesn't have any authority until you come together as a group. So when a decision is made by the board, the team should support that decision. The time for dissent and discussion is during the meetings. And with that team concept, you can move forward with less friction.
Thank you. And Holly, what is your concept of a board leadership team and how it should function?
I think everyone has a vision of how they think things should be. And as a board, we should be able to discuss things and be respectful and professional about it. Because we don't always agree doesn't mean we can't always.
Thank you. All right. Question number 9 goes first to Ashley. What do you feel is the role of parents in their child's educational process?
I think that the parents, from birth, the children depend on us for everything. So I feel like just being active in their lives, having a routine, being consistent, it plays a huge role in their future and their schooling, whether they're going to go through with it or bail out. Being active in their lives is going to help them be successful.
Thank you. Pete, what do you feel is the role of parents in their child's educational process?
They're the most important part. That's where it starts. They are the building blocks. You teach them how to walk and talk and how to use a spoon. And as they continue through their education, there's times where a child may exceed the parent. But I know parents that are illiterate, but they understand the importance of their children to learn, and they still continue to support that learning, even though it's past what they know. And so regardless, they are the building blocks, and that's where it all starts.
Thank you. Holly, what do you feel is the role of parents in their child's educational process?
I think that from the time that they are born well into adulthood, we as parents are continually building that foundation for them. Teach them and we mentor them, and that is going to stay with them for a lifetime. I think it's imperative that parents are involved. We want them to succeed and to be a functioning member of society, a contributing member of society. So let's, we have to set them up on the right path. It's what we do as parents. It's very important. We got to make sure that they're held accountable, maybe for attendance, for homework. Being a parent, it just doesn't stop because they turn 18.
Thank you. Tina, what do you feel is the role of parents in their child's educational process?
Parents are the child's first teacher, and they need to be involved in the education in any way that they can. Helping them at home with their homework, reading to them, just being with them, playing with them. Play is, especially in early childhood, is what teaches children. So, and they need to be partners. Parents need to be partners with the teachers. And if there's difficulties, hopefully the parent and the teacher can work as a team to figure out how they may help their child.
Thank you. Pete, what do you know about building community partnerships? Give us an example of a partnership you've helped build.
One of the partnerships that I've helped build is that Greenways Commission. I am one of the original members, and so we had to come up with all the policies and procedures on how we're going to give out that grant money to municipalities and groups that are supporting and helping with the silent sports in Wapaka County. One of the projects was the walking trail around the Reed Field School and the Reed Field Park. That was a $10,000 grant that commission gave to town of Caledonia to complete that park. So there's several other ones that I'm on like that, but that is the most current and the one that has the most impact on the school district so far.
Thank you. Holly, what do you know about building community partnerships? Give us an example of a partnership you've helped build.
I've been at my job for the last 12 years, and in that time I've had the opportunity to work with different advisors, and I think what me and my current financial advisor have is an amount of trust in each other to know that we are doing the right thing and what's in the best interest of our client. And our client ultimately is our community. We want to know, or we want them to know that we are doing what's best for them. We're taking everything into consideration and providing them a service that ultimately is going to possibly be passed on to their children, taking over an estate. So it's that partnership is so important, though, because without one of us, we work like a well-oiled machine, and if one of us is off our game or not working right, it's not so much of a partnership anymore. It's one picking up the slack for the other, and we don't have that. We have such a good working relationship that affects our community.
Thank you. Tina, what do you know about building community partnerships? Give us an example of a partnership you've helped build.
I think being present in the community and taking part in events, and maybe taking part of celebrations that for successes that a community might have had, or helping them come up with solutions to problems. Listening to the stakeholders would be a way to build them. And when I was at UW Oshkosh Head Start, we were a collaborative with the Oshkosh school districts, and we shared children. So we all the time had to be talking and, hey, we do it this way, and hey, we do it that way, and how can we make it better for the child and the teachers involved? So always just keeping communication open so that we could understand where the other person was coming from, and then make changes to our part, or sometimes they had to make changes with their schedule or something like that. But it was sometimes tough, but with honesty and open communication, we were able to have a really nice partnership with them.
Thank you. Ashley, what do you know about building community partnerships? Give us an example of a partnership you've helped build.
So I've mentioned I'm a child care provider. So I basically raise our children as if your children, as if they were my own. We all feel like one big family, and I partner with not only them, but their families, their bus drivers, their grandparents, their schools, their healthcare providers, their relationships with each other, and who we communicate with as a team for each individual child. I recently took on 2 girls, and I am their voice for everything, and we work together to accomplish every day. We struggle sometimes, but we get through it. But I work with their parents, and it's a I don't know how to explain it. Just by open communication with all of them, with everyone that we are each individually involved with.
Thank you. Is it Holly? I think, are you next? Well, we're going to, you are.
I went first.
Happy days. What is your view of technology in the schools?
It's very important. We need to stay on the leading edge of it. New London, we have a lot going for us. So I got to do a tour, and we have a lot of good stuff going on, but we need to keep on it. We need to stay on the forefront of it. It's important.
Thank you. Tina, what is your view of technology in the schools?
I think technology is a huge component as it's used in our world so much today. You can't even go to a Bucks game and talk to a person anymore to order food. You have to use technology to order your food. So that was just something I learned in the last couple of weeks. And I think that technology can be intertwined in many of the subjects. It doesn't have to be the total focus, but I think we need to stay on top of keeping our equipment up to date so that the kids can have what is current right now in society and knowing how to use it so that they can be successful in either college or tech school or the workforce wherever they're going after high school.
Thank you. Ashley, what is your view of technology in the schools?
It's definitely needed. Like you said, you can't go to a Packer game even without your phone to get into the game. You can't have just a regular old ticket anymore. We need to stay up to date with it, but we also need to not forget the old time ways as well.
Thank you. Pete, what is your view of technology in the schools?
It's extremely important that we stay, like the ladies have said, that we stay on the cutting edge. Our kids have to know how to manipulate and navigate all of the new technologies that are coming forward so that they can be successful once they graduate. Because we all know that's the trend. That's the way things are going. And you're going to have to know and be fluent in all of that stuff to be successful as you want to be. You need that information.
Thank you. All right. So we promised 12 questions, but we've cruised through the first 11 fairly quickly. So hopefully Mr. Bleck won't strangle me. But I'm going to go off script a little bit here and make the last question a little more open-ended, at least time-wise. So we'll give you a little bit more time to answer if in fact you would like the time. And we're going to start with Tina. The last question of the night is, what are our district's major strengths?
Okay, I think we have an awesome district. It has been a great pleasure to really see and understand what our district has been striving for and doing these last few years. I believe that we have a strong admin team and a strong leadership team. We have a great control of our budget. Like Joe and Scott really understand where we're going and how to get there. And I know the school board has really worked hard on that piece to really make sure that we're planning for the future, but yet spending on things that we need to have to keep up with everything that the district might need. We have a low turnover rate of our staff, of our certified staff, and so that shows me that we are a good district to work for, and we can retain that quality staff, and that so we're not continuing to have to train new teachers. That is a huge strength for us. We are making our improving our facilities a definite priority, and we've seen that in the new things that have been happening at Reed Field and Parkview, and are going to happen at the middle school. Some things I feel like maybe were not planned for so well in years past, and they are now getting addressed, and we can be proud of those. We can be proud of the new things that we have done. And I think our achievement on our school report card has been pretty darn good. We are in like the high 70-80% as a district in our state. So that's a huge celebration. And our community involvement and support is amazing. We have a great relationship with the chamber and so many other community organizations, and I think that is definitely a highlight. And I really believe we have some great safe schools, and we have a safe community, but we have worked hard to make our schools very safe. And we have, with the support of the New London Police Department, we have liaison officers, and just they surround us with their safety and helping us improve that as time goes on. So I know that's really important in this day and age. So proud to be part of New London School District.
Thank you. Ashley, what are our district's major strengths?
I think that we have really good facilities and really great, helpful teachers. And we have so many options for each student, too, to help grow into whatever they want to do for their future, and who they want to be. We have a lot of room for opportunities and programs and clubs and organizations. There's so much they can be a part of.
Thank you. Pete, what are our district's major strengths?
So the major strengths of our district are the people of the district. Their hard work ethic is outstanding. Their understanding of how important education is, and their willingness to support that. Just this group of people here coming out to listen to us, these ladies wanting to be part of that. It's just the people in our district are our greatest strength. When you add that to the fiscal stability that we've been able to bring to this district, I think we are head and shoulders above all other school districts.
Thank you. Holly, what are our district's major strengths?
I think one of our district's major strengths and assets is our teachers. In my journey, I actually reached out to some teachers, and I know I said this before, but their day doesn't end when they walk out the door. The commitment they have to our kids is crazy, and they juggle their work life here and their home life, still getting emails and still responding to kids, and that says a lot that they're doing that for our children. Because, like I said, I can leave my work and close the door and come back at 8 o'clock and everything will be there waiting for me. But they choose to, and they have that option to respond. And that's amazing. I also think that when there is a need, people step up. They really do. And that says a lot about us as a district and our character. If there is a need, and it'll be taken, I don't want to say it will be taken care of, but everyone at least tries to make it happen. That's all for the benefit of our kids. That's awesome. It's amazing to me. I never want to see that stop.
Thank you. All right, so this concludes our forum for the evening. Thank you to all the candidates for your time and your energy. I wish you the best of luck going forward. Thank you again to the audience for coming out this evening. And I would ask that the audience would now join me in a well-earned round of applause for the candidates.
You did really good.
I think there's some refreshments out in the commons, and so please take advantage, and if you have the opportunity, spend some time with the candidates. Thank you.